And if you're out there and about having a holiday, do enjoy it, because things are going up in price, I'm afraid. Breaking news this morning, inflation has risen to 3.8% for July. That's the highest since January 2024, a 19-month high. Rachel Reeves, of course, in the papers this morning because she wants to bring a mansion tax in. Supposedly she's decided to do away with your exemption from capital gains tax if you sell your first home. And it turns out that she's drawing up plans to hit the owners of high-value properties with capital gains tax when they sell their homes, as she attempts to fill what's now being called a £40 billion black hole in the public finances. Well, I thought it was a £50 billion black hole. Also, borrowing costs have hit the highest level in 27 years. According to a piece in the Mail today, the peak under Liz Truss for the 30-year UK gilt yield, which is the way that you use to borrow money, basically, 5.1% under Liz Truss. Under Rachel Reeves, it's now gone up to 5.6%. Let's talk now to James Wild MP, Shadow Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury. James, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
I mean, it's all bad news, really. There's nothing on the horizon that looks any good. There's only bad news for Rachel Reeves generally, isn't there?
That's true, and it's because of the decisions they took in the autumn budget last year to massively increase taxes on jobs. We warned at the time that would feed through to higher prices because companies can't simply absorb that. And what have we seen today? Inflation up yet again to 3.8%. Bank of England are expecting it to go to 4% in September. That's further pain for hard-working families who are having to pay more for their weekly shop and are seeing less money in their pocket and more demands from the cost of living. The Chancellor's now looking, as you say, a family home tax is apparently on the agenda. We challenged them to rule out doing this and are now floating this idea. This would be crossing a line, taxing the family home for the first time in this way, and we think they should rule that out.
Yeah, I mean, is there any light at the end of the tunnel? Because there doesn't seem to be much that she can do to change the situation we're in. I mean, the price of gilt has risen ridiculously high. You know, and under Liz Truss, we were told, you know, this is a nightmare for the economy, a nightmare for the markets. The markets have got no confidence in them. Why suddenly are the markets not behaving the same way, given that the gilts are now 5.6% on the yield?
Well, I think because of the mismanagement by Rachel Reeves, there isn't confidence in the markets that this government has actually got a plan that is working. What we're seeing is they took measures which reduce growth in the economy, which are now driving up higher prices. And they've undergone a massive borrowing splurge. And the danger is that the more they borrow, the higher the costs are, the higher the cost of servicing that debt. We're now going to be spending £130 billion a year by the end of this parliament just on paying off the interest. That would be the third biggest government department if it was a government department on its own. That's money that's being wasted. We need to live within our means. We need to be controlling spending. The Chancellor backed away from even modest reductions on the welfare budget because her backbenchers wouldn't stand for it. Unless they're prepared to act, then this doom loop that we're in is only going to continue, I'm afraid.
And what does the inflation figure mean to you today? It's risen to 3.8%. I mean, a lot of people say to me, when they talk about the actual price of goods, the things that they buy every single day, every single week, the weekly shop is going up by a lot more than that.
Well, yeah, indeed, we've seen energy prices, water bills are going up significantly, broadband and mobile costs. We're seeing all those going up. Air passenger duty, you talked about people going on holiday. They're being whacked by Rachel Reeves just for getting away with their family. Obviously, I'd encourage people to come to sunny Norfolk, but people get away as well. So wherever you look, the costs are going up. And unfortunately, the government's decisions hitting businesses with higher costs, they can't simply absorb that. We've seen job losses, 10 months of unemployment going up in a row. Now we're seeing higher prices. Companies are really feeling the squeeze here, and we need a government that's thinking about business and that understands business. Unfortunately, the government doesn't show signs of that yet. We live in hope that they will listen and start acting and doing the things that businesses are calling on them to do.
Yeah. And can I ask you about this Epping decision, which was made late yesterday? It looks like now maybe every single migrant hotel in the UK could be now ruled to be illegal, effectively, as a hotel and no longer a going concern because it isn't a hotel anymore. What is this going to mean for what they do next?
Well, I welcome this decision that came after action by a Conservative council on behalf of its local community, reflecting the concerns of people there, the perfectly legitimate concerns. And the government are now in a bind. They came into office saying they were going to get rid of these illegal migrant hotels. Actually, the number of people in them has increased. And this goes back to the decision they took on day one. If you scrap the deterrent so that people don't think that they'll be removed when they arrive, then what's going to happen? More people are going to come, and we've seen that 50,000 people in the last year alone. So the government need to reintroduce the deterrent scheme that we had in place. Otherwise, the situation is just going to get worse. But it's quite right for councils, Conservative councils, to stand up for their local community in the way that they have here.
Yeah. James, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. James Wild, MP, Shadow Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury.